just bring you a bit of breaking news coming to us from the Metropolitan Police. They say that in the early hours of this morning, police were alerted by London Fire Brigade to reports of a fire at a residential address in northwest London. Officers attended the scene. Damage was caused to the property's entrance. Nobody was hurt. But the Times is reporting that it was the Prime Minister's home that was damaged this morning.
There we go. Keir Starmer's house was set on fire last night. Here we have the road being cordoned off by the police. We do not know all the details of exactly who was this. How did they cause the fire? Some people are sparking rumours on Twitter that maybe the house was petrol bombed by someone who does not like Keir Starmer. We don't know all the details, but this is pretty shocking. Now, Keir Starmer, he does not live at this address anymore because he now, of course, lives at number 10 Downing Street. But nevertheless, someone may have been trying to, show their dislike for Keir Starmer by targeting the property he owns, even if he's not in it. The house, I believe, is currently being rented out to other people. It'll be interesting to see if those people remain in the property after this, or if they decide, screw this, I'm out of here. I don't want to live in a house that's constantly getting targeted by people who, dislike my landlord, the Prime Minister. But let's take a look at some of the details in this Times article. So police are investigating a fire at Keir Starmer's North London home. It's a £2 million home and the front door was damaged. So the fact that the fire was at the front door as opposed to something starting in the house, like from an appliance, seems to suggest that this was a targeted attack. But as I said, we do not know all of the details. Luckily, nobody was interested. Was not interested. Was injured in this. The fire brigade came, and there were 2 fire engines off to Keir Starmer's house in the middle of the night around 1:30. 1:30 last night, and we've got a quote here from the Met Police. On Monday, 12th of May at 1:35 a.m, police were alerted by the London Fire Brigade to reports of a fire at a residential address in North London. Officers attended the scene. Damage was caused to the property's entrance. Nobody was hurt. The fire is being investigated and cordons remain in place while inquiries continue. And speaking of those cordons, this is quite a cordon operation here. They didn't just put one line of police tape across. They decided to do, if I see this, my childish brain immediately thinks, I want to go weave through that and, try and, do a dance through all of the, kind of, if anyone's watched St. Trinian's, where they go through all the laser beams to try and steal the girl with the pearl earring. That's exactly what my brain thinks it wants to do when I see that. I don't know why the cordon is so extensive, but that is what the police have decided to do. Why exactly they still have it cordoned off when there is no longer a fire, I don't know. Maybe they do not want anybody they're taking this so seriously that they do not want anybody to go near the house or to touch the scene, so that they can try and get fingerprints and all of the rest of it. I'm not sure exactly what their procedure is in this case. The fire brigade said firefighters were called to a small fire outside a property in Kentish Town this morning. The brigade was called at 1:11 a.m. and the fire was under control by 1:33 a.m. So all under control within about just over 20 minutes. So didn't break out into anything too serious by the looks of this. But this is not the first time that Keir Starmer's house has been targeted, because last year you had 3 people doing a pro-Palestine demonstration outside his house. Let's take a look back at the picture of that. They had this banner that they tied presumably to Keir Starmer's hedge, saying "Starmer, stop the killing. Youth demand an end to genocide." Now you'll notice that the logo for Youth Demand there looks just like Just Stop Oil, and that is no coincidence, because Just Stop Oil, protesting about oil wasn't enough about them, so they started all of these off branches where it's clearly got the same branding and the same colours but on different causes. So, for example, they had, you know, the no floating prisons protest when they were going to put migrants on the Baby Stockholm barge. That was the Just Stop Oil lot, and you could clearly see from all the banners and the tactics as well, sitting in the road in front of the coaches that were trying to take migrants to the Baby Stockholm barge. But this picture was taken, and this protest took place in June last year, which was shortly before the general election. So presumably Keir Starmer was still living at that address at the time before the general election. But I mean, who knows? Because we know there's been all sorts of tomfoolery with him and addresses and renting, well, or being given for free places from Lord Ali, which may have just been his son staying there, may have been Keir Starmer as well, but presumably Keir Starmer was staying in this property, so you can understand why these guys turned up. People going and attacking the property when Keir Starmer is no longer living there, obviously lives at number 10 Downing Street, is a little bit odd. But obviously, I guess if they wanted to send a message to Keir Starmer, there was no hope of them getting away with doing something like that at 10 Downing Street, because they would get nowhere near the front door because of the security there. So maybe they decided that even if he wasn't at the property, this was their way to send a message to him. I'm not supporting these actions. I'm just showing you what's happened. Obviously, I do not agree with violence and setting fire to things and arson. I think it's wrong. But I think what this does show is how angry the country is getting. You know, when we had the riots last year, I do not support rioting, but I could at least recognise that this is a consequence of the electorate feeling like their democratic vote isn't giving them the change that they want in this country, and they feel like the only way that they can get through to politicians and send a message to them is to do something ridiculous, like rioting, like setting something on fire. I don't think that is, I'm not excusing those actions, I'm just explaining why they are happening. But of course, we do not know exactly who did this, we do not know what their motivations were, we do not know if this was some, you know, it might have just been some teenage idiot going down the street causing chaos in the middle of the night who didn't even know it was Keir Starmer's house and just wanted to cause chaos in the community. I have no idea, but you know, just speculating here. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. This is the latest update. We'll see what happens over the course of the next few days. If we get any more updates about who the people are from the Met Police, but that's all for now. I'm Chloe Dobbs. Subscribe to the Reason channel if you're not already.